peace, and love stands. All right. Thank you, ladies. We have with us here, if you see the banner, we have various professionals playing diverse roles in the transportation sector in Nigeria, although today we are zooming into the pipeline transportation. I will want to bring in the Executive Secretary, the Nigerian Transport Commissioners Forum. She will do a little of those welcome of our graded participants. And after that, I will bring to you our guest. I'll bring to you the guest presenter today before we discuss the paper he is going to present. But let me welcome Madam Chinwe Uwaibute. She is the Executive Secretary of this forum. She will take the first session by telling you who is expected to play a role here. Madam Chinwe, please, can you unmute yourself? Can I see you? Please unmute and take up your role, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, distinguished stakeholders of the transportation sector. My name is Mrs. Chinwe Uwaibute, and I represent the Nigerian Transportation Commissioners Forum. Today, again, I wish to welcome all to the last of 5 webinar series aimed at whetting our appetite for the second edition of the Transport Technology Conference and Exhibition. I want to sincerely welcome our own mentor, our special guest for today, our special guest and our support system for this forum. The permanent secretary, Dr. Mrs. Magdalene Ajani. I want to welcome senior directors of the Federal Ministry of Transportation, managing directors of various public and private organizations, captains of industries, honorable commissioners, and our guest speaker, discussants, ladies and gentlemen. About 2 months ago, the Nigerian Transportation Commissioners Forum commenced a series of webinars in preparation for the National Transport Technology Conference and Exhibition scheduled for Lagos from October 31st to 1st of November 2023. It has been an enlightening journey marked by robust discussions, insightful perspectives, and a shared commitment to the advancement of the transportation industry. The series has no doubt provided foretastes of what is expected in this year's conference. The final section of this series today is dedicated to the mode of transportation that may not be overwhelmingly popular, but is by no means of least importance in economic growth and development. This section looks to explore pipeline transport as alternative to road and rail haulage. The nation is today on a journey of discovery and innovation to potentially reshape the future of transportation logistics in the world, the efficient movement of goods and resources continues to grow. The need for innovative solutions has never been more pressing. Our focus on pipeline transport today signifies a shift towards sustainable and efficient means of conveying materials over long distance, reducing congestion, environmental impact, and reliance on traditional modes of transportation. Over a few hours of this webinar, we will delve deep into the possibilities and opportunities that pipeline transport offers. We will hear from experts and visionaries in fields who will share their insights, experiences, and research findings on technological development, safety measures, and environmental considerations that pipeline transport is compelling alternative. Today, I want to announce to us that we have an array of experts, technocrats in the pipeline subsector that will really show light or directions on what should be done or what is expected. Our guest speaker today is Dr. Obi Uzo, And we have with us as well, Dr. Hussein Ali. We have Engineer Kabir with us, Kabir Ahmed. We also have our own engineer, Zach Abdallah. We have Engineer Francis Omotosho. We have also Dr. Michael and others. Permit me if I can't remember the names. So today, I sincerely want to appreciate every one of us for the time. I am confident that we would have a robust conversation in the course of this webinar. From the Secretariat of the Nigerian Transportation Commissioners Forum, I welcome you once again. Having said that, I wish to call on the moderator to please direct us further for today's discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Executive Secretary, Madam Chinwe. And like we have heard, is an array of professionals that will be speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, one support this forum has had, especially in these pre-event meetings, has been the great support which the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Transportation, has given to this series of capacity building. She has taken it seriously right from when we began. She did that opening remarks months back when this series began, and in this very last program today, she's also available with us. At this point, I will want you to join me to declare this fifth series of this program open. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Transportation, who also doubles as the overseeing Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Madeleine Ajani is here with us. We're also going to be hearing from her on this pre-event closing. Join me as we welcome her. Great women doing great things in the sector. Permanent Secretary, Dr. Madeleine Ajani, will be declaring this engagement open for us this afternoon. Can you spotlight the PS, Transportation and Blue Economy, Marine and Blue Economy, please? Admin, can you spotlight Madam Permanent Secretary, please?
Probably.
Okay. I can't see.
Probably her network. Okay, she's here.
Okay, yes, she's here. Good afternoon, ma. We are, is your time, please, ma.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say well done to the National Forum of Transport Commissioners for your consistency in capacity building of all of us in the transportation sector. Well done for what you have done. This is the fifth of the series. I know I have not been able to attend all 5, but I want to sincerely appreciate you and welcome you to this evening discourse. It's been quite an enriching session for those of us who have been attending. And we hope that after this and the conference that is being planned, we will still have this forum. It may not be every 2 weeks, to keep interacting and educating ourselves. I want to thank you. So I also want to express my appreciation to
the amount you're supposed to send or forward it to Mr.
Admin, please, can somebody's on the floor?
Admin, can you stop? Can you mute
Please.
the person?
Thank you.
I also want to appreciate Ciota and all the groups who have made this happen. Thank you so much and welcome to this discourse. I'll be coming back again at the end of the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Transportation, then Marine and Blue Economy. If you're in Nigeria, you are aware that transportation gives birth to another ministry, and we are finding gradually settling how to get the second ministry well started, as it were. So we've heard from the Permanent Secretary, and she has made one request. Secretary, take note that after this conference, she hopes that we'll be having such time again to make sure capacity is maintained. We keep building this capacity for the sector so that everybody comes up to speed to the dynamism which we are seeing in developing the transport sector. All right. We will not want to take much of our time. At the right time, I will also bring one or two other persons to give us some goodwill messages. But let's quickly go to the man of the moment. We have a guest speaker for this fifth event. We are looking at pipeline transportation. The older Nigerians are aware that there were times it was not very popular to see tankers on our roads, except for very short hauls. The various petroleum depots were all working. Kaduna Refinery those days was also getting crude, not by tankers, but by pipelines. So unfortunately, we just saw another era where, in the remotest village, at every trunk of road, whether highway, whether state road, whether local government road, everywhere were tankers. And we can see that our roads are, impassable. We don't have good roads anymore because this tonnage and axle load of this type of vehicles, they didn't help our roads. And unfortunately too, for some time, our rail also was down. That did not help us as a nation. So this evening, we are going to look at the role of pipeline, the role of pipeline transportation in our nation, and a professional who has been in this business is going to speak to us. Admin, I want you to spotlight Dr. Godwin. Engineer Godwin, sorry. Yeah. Can you spotlight? And there are some people unmuting themselves, please.
Engineer Obi, please.
Engineer Obi. Yes, Engineer Obi. Get me the program, please. Obi Uzo is here. Yes. Engineer Obi Uzo is here. Help me. Okay, fine. He's spotlighted now. Engineer Obi, sir, you are welcome. He's our guest presenter. He will be speaking, and after that, we now have other professionals that will look at that paper and also other aspects. If by their profession they want to throw more light.
Oh. Mr. Joseph Bago, can you mute, please? Mr. Joseph Bago, can you mute, please?
Good afternoon. I just want to confirm if you are going to project the slide I sent earlier, or do you want me to use my own slide and share?
You can share, sir. You can go ahead and share.
Okay, just hold on. How do I do that? How do I shift? Which camera?
Where's the presentation?
Okay, so Desktop.
On your desktop, Abi. Okay, let's open it. Fine. No, we have to. Oh, sorry.
Okay, as we wait for our
Okay,
guest speaker to come back.
we wait for our guest speaker to come back.
Again, like we said, the pre-event meetings
Pre-event meetings is the online session. We're going to be having a physical session where we'll all meet in Lagos. At the appropriate time, that announcement will be repeated here. I think the sharing is all fine. So okay, I'll mute the guest speaker again. Engineer Bisayo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry
sir.
for the interlude. It looks like I sent this presentation before, so I was thinking it's going to be on the screen while we are talking. So I just thank God I find it now. I will stand on the existing protocol. My name is Engineer Nelkon Obidike Uzu. I've been in pipeline business for the past 26 years. I joined BJ Services 1997, worked both in Nigeria and UK, and had early retirement in 2009 and started my own business with some of my friends in global process and pipeline. Incidentally, at this point in my life, I am looking at the high end. There's some technologies available to solve some of the challenges in pipeline. However, that is not the discussion of today. I will limit myself to what we are discussing today, probably in another forum, and maybe discussions in terms of the challenges we have in pipeline and transportation. We can take some of those discussions ahead. So I'm going to look at the pipeline transportation, the pros and cons of pipeline transportation, roads, rail means of transportation, inherent challenges, associated issues with pipeline transportation, and way forward and conclusion. So we look at the pipeline transportation is a method of transportation for liquid and gas, mostly. That's the things you can transport on pipeline. You can transport cold or solid materials through pipeline for a long distance. And mostly it's more convenient than shipping. You can transport liquid as well through shipping or through rail or road. You see all the issues surrounding those other means of transportation and why we are trying to stick to pipeline. On advantages or the pros of pipelines, you can transport large volumes through pipeline, which everybody is aware, and that's why they're building the 40-inch AKK pipeline, which will transport massive volume of gas from Niger Delta towards Kano, probably towards Algeria very soon. It has a small footprint, though on a long distance. You know, if you look at the right of way compared to the area available, it's very small where it will take. When you open up the trenches and fill up the line, the area this pipeline takes is small on the footprint. The short construction time and cost effectiveness to rail. If you want to do rail line from Niger Delta to Kano, the pipeline is going to be easier and quicker to do than the rail line and or any other means of construction for that purpose. Pipeline transportation is safe, reliable, and continuous. Though if you don't manage it very well, if you don't use the specifications outlined, it might be dangerous as well. Pipeline transportation consumes less energy, has less costs, and good benefit. You know, once you put the pipeline, except the cathodic protection and all that, you don't need any other energy on it, except the pumps. On the pump station, you're going to use to pump the fluid at certain pressures and you wanted. That's the only thing you will need. Unlike roads, the energy we need to drive that quantity of gasoline from Niger Delta to Kano is huge compared to that of the pipeline. And they look at it as overall, the cost is lower compared to other ones with the number of years it will stay. Some of the pipelines are designed for 35 years to 50 years, depending on the material used in the construction of the pipeline. Like we said, it has its own problem too. Like it has a restricted product transfer. Like we have agreed, it's not everything you're going to transport through pipeline. There is certain things at certain specification, at certain viscosity you can transport on pipeline. So it gives you poor flexibility because assuming you want to transport fuel to Kano, you can't use the pipeline to transport it into every home, so everywhere those fuel will be needed. There may be supplementary means of transportations like we're going to see, road too, but it will be minimal at that time. Instead of truck to drive from Warri Refinery or from the jetty in Lagos to Kano, it will just go from the depot in Kano to the nearest suburb. Large fixed investment. Once you do that initial investment, construct the pipeline, commission it, probably that's the major cost you will see. Every other thing will be operating, which is extremely minimal. Involves many stakeholders and strong franchises. What we're saying now that pipeline construction will involve a lot of people. You know, the right of way, communities, and regulators, and a lot of other people who will be involved before it is actually finished. The associated issues with pipeline transportation way forward is the maintenance culture. This is where probably we fail as Nigeria. Some of these pipelines on the PPMC has not been picked for the past 25 years to 30 years. I don't think anybody has picked it. So nobody knows their integrity. Nobody knows even the right of way. The maps that tell you specifically on GPS where these pipelines are. And the cathodic protection, which is a must for carbon steel, we are not there. So some of the pipelines are rotten. It's not going to be, it's not advisable, or it's not practicable the way we have it today. So maintenance has been a major issue in most of the pipelines we have in the country. Even the IOCs, the ones the oil companies are using, some of the spillage and spillage we have is not 100% sabotage. Some of them, as a result of aged pipeline, has not been well maintained. So you need to be aware of that. The second one is the aged infrastructure, like I said before. Like the refinery were built in the 80s, and just like the pipeline as well. Since then up to now, some of them has not been maintained, some of them have not been replaced, some of them have not been well kept to be able to adhere to what they are supposed to be used. So that has been an issue. Adherence to statutory requirement, the right of way, which is a major issue. Some of the right of way on some of the pipelines, you have a two-story building built on such places because the guys who are supposed to be using the pipeline or PPMC or so has not been using it again. And there should be a regulation. Thank God the Ministry of Transport is here. They should be on the forefront to issue this right of way and make sure nobody or commercial activity is happening around this right of way. To take compliance, to protect the civil society from accident they may happen from this pipeline. This is extremely important in the policy side of business. Data and records application. Like I was saying before, you realize that every pipeline in developed country has what they call as-built diagram, which will tell you the right of way, the GPS points, so that every other activities, road construction or other construction that were happening around that area, that map is available. You can give it to the contractor or the construction company to be sure that they will not vandalize into your pipeline, or they will not do something that will detriment to your pipeline infrastructure or other things. So data and the record is not kept properly, even in our own natural systems. That's why we are looking at NIN now, to be able to conglomerate those data so that the application will be formal. However, you have vandalism or vandalization, and there is two components of this vandalization. One, as government is trying to mitigate it, is social mitigation. What I'm calling social mitigation, if you look at the PIA, is giving provision for the community to be carried along with 3%. And that 3% is to make sure they are going to be part of that ownership of that pipeline, so they will not vandalize it. That's, and the other community engagement to carry them along and to help the people living along the way of the pipeline to be part of the benefit of the pipeline. That's what I call the social intervention. There is enforcement intervention, where the army, the police, and the law enforcement agents are being detailed to protect those pipelines, and other security arrangements like NMPC is having with Tantita to protect those pipelines. These are things we are doing to mitigate vandalization of the pipeline. However, technologies are available, which one of them is what they call HDD, horizontal directional drilling, to bury this pipeline at a depth that will be very difficult for people to access it, or to use what they call alloyed material, which you cannot do hot tap on. Those are part of it. Other technologies are available. However, our environment is making it difficult, where they have what we call, along the way, you have cable buried with the pipeline through at certain distance, 500 meters, you have sensors on those pipelines, where if there is any pressure drop along the pipeline, it will pick it up and tell you where this intrusion is happening at that time. So those things, but unfortunately, in our own system, if you install some of these things, these vendors may even remove it very quickly. As of today, looking at the literatures, it has not been difficult. It has not been easy to install anything at the launcher or the receiver 50 kilometers apart, and they can tell you where any inclusion it is along the pipeline. You must have a system or a sensors along the pipeline. Unless those sensors are protected, you can utilize it to monitor that pipeline. Monitoring, which they use Chrome and other things. We maintain pipeline both on the land, swamp, and the deep waters for major oil companies with different technologies available. We look at the inherent challenges on road and rail transport. I will just to digress a little bit. This morning, LASTMA averted fire tanker fire at Synagogue Church in Oju in Lagos. And these are things that, this is the one that happened in Otodola Bridge last year that killed so many people. The last one under is Raymond in Minnesota, where the rail that was carrying ethanol and syrup oil, corn syrup oil, the rail, and a lot of that. And the upper one is the vandals. You know, the train vandal in what they call Abuja to Kaduna rail that happened some other 1 year or 2 years ago. Everybody's aware of that. These are our own peculiar problems. Some of them are not peculiar to us. But in our case here, on the road, is the danger, severe danger to the road users. If we continue hauling petroleum product and gas through the road, it's very, very volatile substance and very, very dangerous for us to be on the same road with people carrying petrol or gas, which is serious danger if anything happens. You know, accident and danger to other road users, like I've mentioned, and even product adulteration and theft. So I have seen some of the tankers, they will drive few kilometers and they will push along the road and siphon 3 or so many liters and sell, probably use water and add it up to make up that volume. These things happen because the driver have access to do those alteration on his own with the quantity he's carrying. So it is not an option. The pipeline is still option, but we must, all of us agree, government need to have a clear policy to go that direction. It's cumbersome to ship large volume of petroleum product. Dangote is building 650,000 barrels of refinery per day. That quantity, you will need close to 500,000, almost 500,000 tankers transport it out of Lagos. So that is not possible. That will make every other thing we want to use the road to do impossible. So that is why pipeline is the only way to transport that volume out of Lagos to wherever they will use, so that if it get to Enugu, if it get to Kano, if it get to Kafanchan, we now know it's going to be a minimal transport from the depot in Kafanchan to wherever he's going to go in Lafayette. The only way. It's how the whole world is operating. You can't see anywhere in the world where tanker will go 300 kilometers to drop a product. It's not an option. It's not going to be viable. We have undeveloped road network currently. A lot of places, the roads are bad already. Coupled with that, you have trucks carrying dangerous products, you know, dragging the road with you. So it's extremely unbearable situation, and it's not going to support our civilization and well-being going forward. In summary, I didn't want to waste too much of your time. This is where we are. Despite some initial challenges for effective management of transportation through pipeline, it undoubtedly seems a better means of oil and gas related products today, based on the volume capacity that can be transported per time and several other reasons, such as footprint and cost and all that I have stated. However, I must say something about pipeline, which I didn't capture here. I wanted to limit it to oil and gas only. If we develop our pipeline network, it will support agriculture, because there's huge lands in the north which are not being farmed around the clock because of rainy season and all that. Look at Holland. They use irrigation to farm all year round. Irrigation, River Niger is there. River Niger piping through Gongola to Meduguri. All that whole place will become a farmland. Food will be surplus. A lot of insecurity will be reduced. So we will achieve our aim. Thank you so much. Hello.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that very brief, but full of facts, full of information for every one of us to take from. I want to thank you for taking time and your dedication and passion for this industry. Like you said, you've been in this service.
All right, yeah, I'm unmuted now. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Mazi, you need to unmute yourself.
Can take it from
Seems like our moderator's network is a bit shaky. Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible enough.
All
Yes,
right,
we
while
can
we
hear
wait for him to return to us, I want to thank once again the presenter, and we will want to be as much as possible fast with this discussion today. The presentation was made available to discussants, so I would like to call on each of the discussants to share their thoughts in 2 minutes or 3 minutes of what the presenter had dished out to us this afternoon. And to start with, I want to introduce to us Dr. Mrs. Mercy Ilori. Dr. Mrs. Mercy is the Director, Transport Planning and Coordination of the Federal Ministry of Transportation. She's the lead discussant for today. I don't know if she's here. The network in that office is a bit shaky. I want to confirm her presence here. If she's not here yet, I would call on Engineer Zaka to talk to us in 2 minutes. Then other discussants will follow. I can't see her here. I can't also see the moderator. I think network is of a challenge from the ministry's complex. Engineer Zaka, please, I want to humbly welcome you to share your thoughts on the paper presented. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Thank you, professional colleagues and our guest and lead paper presenter. Thank you for sharing and cross-fertilizing knowledge with us. First of all, I want to confirm, am I audible enough?
Yes, you got, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming to educate us and sharing with us your experience on this mode of transportation that has actually been relegated. I don't want to technically say relegated to the background, but we know it's very, very important. We're talking about conveyance here. And when you talk about conveyance, honestly, that mode of transportation is very, very important. Because like you rightly explained, I mean, it's needed not only in the oil and gas industry, it is needed for environmental reasons. When you look at difficult terrains, that's what you need. You know, apart from oil and gas, or liquid and gas, you can also use it to transport slurries. So, I mean, to me, this is a presentation that we need to take very serious. I don't know, there is an echo somewhere. So if you look at it, it's really needed. because it does not make sense. Like the presenter said, look at the kind of carnage that we are having on our roads. I mean, look at it. You cannot explain it. Look at the soil chemistry of our roads. It doesn't make sense for somebody to want to transport probably 33,000 liters of petrol or diesel, and that person will leave Lagos and start going to Sokoto. Look at the effect it is going to have on the road, and look at even the destruction it is going to cause. Look at the environmental degradation. So to some extent, it is even needed. Even when you look at it in terms of international supplies, when we conceived the idea of the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, when we conceived the idea of the West African gas pipeline, everything had to do with conveyance. And if you go to developed economies, like he rightly said, I mean, trucks are actually limited to metropolitan centers. So when you look at it from that angle, there is so much to gain, even in terms of maintenance. And he has explained it. There is a depth at which we are going to bury these pipes. And I'm telling you, when you put the necessary sensors at every point in time, if there are concerns, whether due to sabotage or integrity issues or maintenance issues, we will also be able to confirm that. So overall, I think this is a mode of transportation that is worth looking into. But we're also happy that the PAMSEC, Ministry of Transportation, has taken this serious, and she has been at the back. And we are happy also the transport commissioners across the country have been putting heads together to see what we can do. But as far as Nigerian economic mix is concerned, we really need it. And finally, I want to also say this. Apart from trying to encourage something that we are practically seeing, like the Ajakuta, Kaduna, Kano project, let us try after this stage to also make sure anything pipeline or steel is possibly produced within Nigeria. I just want to say this a little bit because even in the oil and gas industry, the most expensive materials during the course of drilling activities or conveyance is pipeline. Pipeline takes so much, and we technically call them tubulars or casings. So, I mean, overall, it is really needed. Nigeria needs it. We need to shift away. We need to reserve the roads and the rail lines for other products like humans, you know, and let us also sympathize with even the soil chemistry of our roads. But at the end of the day, when it comes to economic savings, Nigeria will gain a lot. And I'm happy with the level of engagement and cross-fertilization of all the stakeholders involved. Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Engineer Balazaka.
Thank you very much. Nigeria needs it. And like he also
Nigeria needs it.
made us to understand.
And like he also made us to understand.
In other clients, trucks are limited to the metropolitan areas.
Are limited to the metropolitan areas.
It's something we want. It is a matter of civilization. We should flow in that direction. All right. I saw earlier the registrar Nagaf, senior forwarder Francis Ayomotosho is also on the call, and I will want him to mute and take his own 2 minutes, either building on the paper we heard, or there is another aspect you want to portray within your 2 minutes. Please, Registrar Nagaf, Mr. Francis Ayomotosho, please. So that I will take another discussion.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Can you spotlight Mr. Francis? Okay, fine. Spotlighting.
Francis, your feedback is having serious challenge.
Hello,
Mr. Francis, can you hear?
can you hear me?
Yeah, you are not clear, sir.
Yes, I hear you. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I mean, you were speaking in the last few seconds, but you were not clear enough. You want to change your location or something? Let's see whether. Wow. Still,
Moderator, sir, can we call other discussants?
all right.
Dr. Hussaini Ali's hand is up. He's a discussant. We also have Engineer Kabir Ahmed is a discussant. We also have Engineer Michael, Dr. Michael is also a discussant. However, the Honorable Commissioner for Niger State is on standby, waiting to be ushered in, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we will come back to Mr. Francis. I think Dr. Hussaini Ali, former GM, Health, Safety and Environment, he can take his 2 minutes at this.
Dr. Hussaini Ali, you can go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. Am I being heard?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Am I being heard, please?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I think what is causing this obstruction for us, there are too many videos on. Can we mute our videos so that we can be able to hear ourselves very well? Can we mute ourselves, please? So that we can have one house. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this time. I think much has been said. My own is just... Hello, am I being heard, please? Hello?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me this time. I think much has been heard, but I still need to chip in very little, just as the time permits. Transportation plays a vital role in ensuring the smooth flow of goods and services. Traditionally, road and rail haulage have been the primary means of transporting goods over long distances. However, pipeline transport has emerged as a viable alternative with numerous benefits. This brief will delve into the advantages of pipeline transport, such as cost effectiveness, environmental sustainability, and efficiency in transporting fluid commodities. In Nigeria, specifically where I was in service, we are in the pipeline and product distribution, which we have the benefits of pipeline use of pipeline, specifically for crude oil and petroleum products. Transportation and in transportation that are exceptionally indeed, except for the pipeline vandalization, which baffles Nigerian pipeline today. However, the benefits are numerous, but few among them can be stated as earlier being heard from the previous discussant. Pipeline transportation presents numerous benefits as an alternative to road. Its cost effectiveness, environmental sustainability, and transportation efficiency makes it an alternative option for businesses in various industries as we move towards a more sustainable future. Considering pipeline transport as a viable alternative can lead to significant benefit for both businesses and the environment. By harnessing the advantages of pipeline transport, we can create a more efficient, safe, and environmentally responsible transportation system. I may not forget if I did not mention the safety aspects of all these transports and the pipeline transport system. For the safety, pipeline transport is a vital method of various types, such as gases and chemicals over long distances. The mode of transport offers several advantages, including efficiency, costs, and reduced carbon footprint. One particular aspect that deserves significant attention is safety. Ensuring an accident-free pipeline transport system is crucial to protect the environment, public health, and the overall well-being of communities. This paper will explore the measures and considerations involved in maintaining safety and promoting accident-free pipeline transport over road and rail haulages. Stringent safety regulations. Pipeline transport companies must adhere to strict safety regulations and standards imposed by regulatory bodies. These regulatory govern various aspects, including constructions, maintenance, inspection, and emergency responses. Compliance with safety standards helps minimize the occurrence of accidents and ensuring that pipelines are built, operate, and maintained in the safe manner. Regular inspection and audit. An audit of pipeline by qualified professionals should be conducted to identify potential risks and ensure compliances. Robust maintenance and monitoring systems. Employed well-designed maintenance and monitoring system is essential for preserving the integrity of the pipeline. Comprehensive emergency response plan. Developing comprehensive emergency response plan to crucial to handling any accidental incidences promptly and efficiently. Pipeline companies should establish communication protocols and coordinations with local emergency response agencies to ensure a swift response to any potential accident or leaks. A regular emergency response, drift, training, exercise should be conducted to maintain preparedness and provide necessary skills for dealing with pipeline related incidents effectively. Finally, awareness. We have to create awareness campaign, public consultations, and community engagement initiatives can ensure that residents living near the pipeline route understand the potential hazards and know how to respond in case of any emergency. Encouraging the reporting of any suspicious or potential damaging activities near pipelines helps prevent accidents caused by external factors. In conclusion, safety and accident-free pipeline transport over road and rail haulage requires a multifaceted approach involving stringent regulations, robust maintenance practice, a comprehensive emergency response plan, streamlined routing and design, and public awareness and education. By implementing these measures, pipeline transport can continue to be a reliable and environmentally friendly mode of transportation, safeguarding both the well-being of communities and the integrity of natural environment. In addition, where the presenter has made, it has happened I become one of the persons who monitors the construction of a pipeline that moves from Auburn to Jakarta. There are a lot of problems we encountered during that process. We found out that during the construction of rails, they do not contact the pipeline owners. And in the process of excavation, they mistakenly dug the pipeline and punch it. And eventually you may have leakages all around, specifically for gas pipelines. So in that note, as I've earlier said, we need to communicate and have the P&I diagram before we conduct any other additional works on the road. Both rail and road should also consider at any point on time, if they are going to have a work, let's have a collaboration. Involve all the stakeholders. Let's engage ourselves and look into it. Will this touch our pipeline or will this not touch our pipeline, so that we'll avoid any unexpected disaster that may occur during the construction of road or rail lines. On that note, thank you for listening, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hussein. Ended on a very, very, very sound note. Collaboration among government agencies and other stakeholders who have businesses excavating from time to time. Thank you very much. I think our communicate team will really note that there is need for that handshake whenever there is all these constructions that are going to take kilometers, so that we make sure, since that diagram is not just readily available, the petroleum pipeline, we need to get it from the PIA, those under those ministry for now. Thank you very much, Doc. We also have somebody from the Health Safety Institute of Petroleum Studies of Uniport. Mr. Kabiru Ahmed is also here from the academia. Sir, can you unmute yourself? Let's give you your own 3 minutes. Let's also see what is happening from the Ivory Tower about this technology. I hope there is hope. Professionals are being turned out to make sure Nigeria does not have a situation where we still have foreigners in case we need pipeline tomorrow for maintenance. I hope the Ivory Tower is really turning out the right professionals, and other areas you want to comment. Please, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks to all the presenters and the organizers of this very important event. I love the presentation of Engineer Obi, looking at all the content of the presentation, ranging from the advantages, disadvantages, the issues and the challenges surrounding the pipeline as a means of transportation, and also the comparison between the pipeline transportation and road, as well as rail transportation. Imagine transporting the volume of product, as he mentioned, from Dangote Refinery down to, let's say, for example, Maiduguri. How many trucks do you need to meet the requirement of that axis? So having looked at that area, again, there is safety and environmental consideration, which is of great concern to everybody, both locally and internationally, especially the greenhouse gas emission, the environmental pollution, and so on. If you look at the number of trucks that are required to transport that quantity of product from the point of production to the point where it is going to be processed, or to a point where it is going to be utilized, the amount of emissions that will be generated by those trucks will actually affect Nigeria in meeting its nationally determined contribution in terms of greenhouse gas emission. Nigeria has an obligation to reduce its greenhouse gas emission by 20% unconditionally 2030. We're just close to 2030 now. And then 50% conditionally. That is if the required support are provided. If we continue with this means of transportation, transporting products using trucks, I do not think we will be able to meet our nationally determined contribution. So let's critically look into this, and then look at other safety consideration and then other environmental consideration. I believe all the issues highlighted by Engineer Obi in his presentation, most of them have to do with the operation And these operational issues can be handled by the owner of the pipeline, except few, which has to do with the community and the security. And that has to be a collaboration, as mentioned by Dr. Hosseini in his conclusion. So without taking much of your time, I will end by saying pipeline transportation remain the most economic, safe, and environmentally friendly means of transportation if we can guarantee the security and collaboration among all the relevant stakeholders. Thank you very much, and back to you for the continuation of the conversation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. If we can guarantee the security, and a presenter said from the PIA, there is a provision made for host communities. And I think all of that is for us to be able to have every hand on deck, so that once we bring back our pipeline on stream, nobody will go to trouble any of those infrastructure. So we can guarantee that. I think government has done well. The National Assembly looked at every stakeholder and make sure there's a role to play in that sector, especially the petroleum sector for now. Our presenter also made us to understand that even in agriculture, we can move water from the areas where it's over needed to where there is none, and make sure we have a farming done all through the year. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for that contribution. One of our hosts, the Honorable Commissioner, Niger State, Hadiza Kuta. Well done, ma. I hope, can we listen to you? She was supposed to speak to us on behalf of our hosts. Ma, are you there? Or can I leave you later on? Honorable Commissioner, Niger State.
Yes, I'm representing her. The PAMSEC is representing her.
Oh, the permanent secretary. Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening,
Please,
my brother.
It will be our pleasure to hear from you.
Okay.
The transport commissioners, the PAMSEC, Federal Ministry of Transportation, initially were giving you guys thanks and to say that this should be maintained beyond the Lagos conference. You have the floor, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And I would like to apologize on behalf of my commissioner. She's unavoidably absent. She said I should speak on her behalf. We want to thank the organizers of all of this forum. We want to thank the organizers for enriching us with the knowledge we've been having all along. At one time, we were at Abuja for the inauguration of the commissioners, and we had so many lectures, from various fields, rail, road, and what have you. And now again, with this webinar that we're having on and on from time to time, it's really helping us, buttress what we've already known about transportation. So on our behalf, I would like to thank you for your efforts, and I wish us all the best in all the efforts we are all making, to transportation sector to see it survive and thrive in the country. Thank you very much, and God bless. All the best. Thank you.
God bless you too, Permanent Secretary. Our regards to the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We still have a few other professionals. Let me find out whether they're on the call. But before that, Mr. Francis, I don't know whether we are good with your connection now. Mr. Registrar Nagav Academy, please, can we bring you back? Let's see whether we can hear you better now. Mr. Francis, sir, can you return? And participants, please, you can chat me with the questions. We have Engineer Obi still waiting on the sideline. If there are questions, I can just pull that to him to start looking at it. Your question can go to any of the discussants who have taken their turn. If we write it down, the question, it helps us to be faster. Please. Okay, if Mr. Francis is not available, I don't know whether Mr. Luke has, Mr. Luke Anele, pipeline storage company. Mr. Luke, sir, are you with us? Mr. Luke?
Let's move to Dr. Michael.
All right, Dr. Michael
Ogochukwu.
Yeah, Nigerian Association of Master Mariners. Doc, please.
Yes, sir. Good
You're
afternoon,
welcome.
all.
Fine. Good afternoon,
am I
sir.
heard loud and clear?
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And
Good afternoon, sir.
I observe all existing protocols. And thanks to all the speakers, the lead speaker, Dr. B, and the rest, you've all emphasized on it. So, but for emphasis' sake, I want to trigger our thoughts by saying that for the benefit of some of us that are not here, to repeat that pipelines serve both domestic, commercial, and industrial purposes. By domestic, I mean to homes. And again, for also to note that Nigeria has, this again is to trigger our thoughts, that Nigeria has a total pipeline gas of about 5,120 kilometers, made up of 4,000 plus for other products, finished products, while 666 thereabout, it's for crude oil. So having said that, they've talked a lot on the benefits of pipelines, so I will not be dwelling on that, but rather I want to go straight to my comments on exploring the benefits. Again, like Dr. Obi already stated, that there are technologies like IDD to monitor these pipelines. I would want to add that addressing the issue of pipeline vandalization. Sorry, my glasses just fell off. Pipeline vandalization for oil theft. The Niger Delta conflict has given rise to socioeconomic dislocation with the attendant consequence of hampering the efficient supply chain management of petroleum products, which resulted that Nigeria reportedly lost about $58 billion in 9 years between 1999 and 2008. It is imperative that the situation in the Niger Delta be resolved, because it is only when the supply, storage, transport, and delivery of petroleum products are carried out under the best possible conditions of safety, security, and respect, so to create the enabling environment for pipeline transportation within Nigeria to thrive, it behoves on government to continue to adopt political rather than military solution to the Niger Delta conflict, to ensure diversification of the economy with less emphasis on oil as major revenue. Then enable all our stakeholders, MPA, NIWA, and all the government agencies to partner with security in the Niger Delta. Having said that, just another emphasis again, linking pipelines to homes. You wonder why we talk about pipelines, having 5,000 plus pipeline still ongoing, yet gas sells for cooking gas at home sells. So that is something we should take home. And like Dr. Kabiru said, reducing exposure, that is the menace caused by trucks on the road. He used like Dangote to maybe for example. If we distribute tank farms, I want to use cocoa there. The fear of going to Apapa for work is the beginning of wisdom, because of trucks not only damaging the roads, but blocking the roads. So, and you go along there to Mile 2, Okokomaiko, you see a lot of trucks. What is a truck at Okokomaiko coming to do in Apapa when tank farms could be built in about 5 locations, using Apapa for example? From Apapa to Okokomaiko, who has about 5 tank farms. They all have water linkages. These tank farms, then you link pipes to them, which means a truck from Okokomaiko does not have to come as far as Coconut to pick to collect product. Rather, it moves within a short distance to move to pick a product. So then again, I want to provoke us further. Say pipelines transport, referring to outside our shores, transportation almost in all natural gas. And nearly 2/3 of all Azadian. Most of these pipelines are on the ground and are privately owned. I emphasize the word privately owned and operated in the face of this. I want to subscribe to, instead of us waiting for the central government, just like Dangote refinery, a few private tank farm owners, more states, private companies, and business individuals should explore the possibility of partnering with the central government to harness these potentials in pipeline transportation. Looking forward for alternatives for transportation of cement by roads. Somebody talked about slurry. Pipeline is not only just used for oil, it could be used for transportation of cement by, talking about transportation of cement and its.
Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. All right. I think I've lost Dr. Mike. All right, but that statistics was good. 5,120 kilometers of pipeline that we have on ground. Before I'll bring back the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Transportation and Marine and Blue Economy, he mentioned something, talking about Kokomaiko in Lagos, Apapa, which have made it unpassable for vehicles. People who have business around those areas, if you don't go through the waterways, then you really have an issue with you because of the hours you might spend on the gridlock. What do we advise? Maybe Dr. Obi, what do we advise with the new ports that are coming on stream? Lekki is already on stream, even though the liquid, the wet cargo terminals are maybe in the next phase. So what did you advise so that we don't have the situation where we have the tank farms just at the ports, as it were? Now we are talking about the advantage of pipeline that can take tank farms kilometers away from the port, parameters and neighborhood, so that we don't have this challenge of both tankers and trailers are fighting, all of them being put in the same place. The deep sea ports that we want to develop, what do you advise, sir, in the component of using the pipeline to make sure life is better in the new ports that are coming on stream?
Yeah, you have almost answered the same question. Trucks need not to go to the depot at the port to pick product. There should have been a satellite selling port where the depot you pump to that place, that's where the truck can take off. I don't see why you don't have a selling point where the truck can go and pick the product out towards Ogun State or out of the main city. What you do is to do 6-inch or 10-inch pipeline that connect from the depot, which is the tank farm, which is at the port, towards that area. That way, people going to work from Ikorodu coming to VI has nothing to meet with that truck. The truck will take off from where from that location, not within this place where people are all congested. That's how it is done. That way, from there, they can start extending the depots to hinterland. Pipeline is the only solution, assuming all the trucks come to Apapa to pick petroleum product. That, like you said, every other person living around Apapa cannot even go to work. Every other activities within Apapa cannot function because all the trucks will come in. I just did a rough calculation to take off the Dangote production, assuming it goes to full production, you need 3,250 trucks on daily basis to come, 3,250 to go back every day. Then where is the other space for other road users? And you are not sure of this 3,250. Half of them or 1/4 of them will break down the road. Maybe 10% will fall on the road and spill oil, and that will cause fire as well. So there will be regular accidents every day because of that number. We can't manage it with other activities going on the road. The best thing is government to have a clear policy to move the tank farm to hinterland. If that is not possible, they should have their pump stations in the hinterland so that they are congesting the main cities like Lagos will be minimal. Then nobody should go to Apapa to pick petroleum product. It shouldn't have happened. If you have a 10-inch, 20-inch started move out of Apapa to other places, I mean, it's your product. It goes to that station, the truck takes it from there and go where they needed to go until we start having pipeline from Apapa down to Enugu, down to Abuja, down to Kano. It's the way to go on the long run.
All right, it is the way to go. Our guest speaker, Engineer Obi, is lending his voice again. Is the way to go. I just hope our rapporteurs will get all of these captured so that we'll see how to put them together and also send them to appropriate quarters. He has also mentioned the need for a policy. Policy, very important for us to have a coordinated approach, to this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are winding down this meeting. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Transportation, Marine and Blue Economy made mention that she's coming back at the tail end of this meeting, and I want to bring her back before Chinwe will tell us about the final meeting, which we have been preparing for these 5 webinars. Let me bring back to us Dr. Madeline Ajani as she starts to take her closing remarks for this meeting. Again, welcome, ma.
Thank you very much. It's been an interesting discourse, and I also want to thank all the resource persons. By way of closing remark, I want to say that the pre-event conversation in the preparation of the second Transport Technology Conference and Exhibition 2023 of the National Transport Commissioners Forum comes to a close today. It's important to remember the key takeaways and resolutions made during previous 4 events that focused on rail, maritime, inland waterways to be specific, road and air subsectors. Today being the final of these pre-event webinars, it is said that the best is usually reserved for the last. And once again, I want to thank our resource persons for this important discussion today, and to also state the need to rehabilitate our pipeline networks and establish new alignments to connect our cities, industrial and technological hubs. Some key takeaways of the pipeline transport webinar is for us to invest more in pipeline transportation infrastructure, in pipeline transportation infrastructure in order to reduce the country's reliance on road and rail haulage. The need for greater collaboration between the public and private sector to develop and implement effective pipeline transportation systems in the country cannot be overemphasized. The potentials of the pipeline transportation to improve the environment and reduce carbon emissions, and the need for more research and development in the field of pipeline transportation in the country are other things that we must look at closely. Ladies and gentlemen, may I advise our hosts, the commissioners in charge of transport, that the various recommendations from the beginning of this pre-event engagement to this particular one, which is the last of the serial, be well articulated and presented as memorandum to the next National Council on Transportation. I believe when we do this, we will deepen the sector with all the technical and intellectual knowledge that was brought to the fore during these 5 different webinars that touched on policy, legal, regulatory, financial, operational, professional, and developmental suggestions with a view to achieving an efficient and effective integrated transport industry in Nigeria. Some stakeholders have expressed their concern for the sector. When they heard of Mr. President's pronouncements on the creation of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy from the Federal Ministry of Transportation, I want to reassure you that there's really nothing to fear, because the existing platform on the National Council on Transportation will bring all of us together again to deliberate on issues that affect the transportation sector, of which the marine and blue economy is one of it. I sincerely appreciate the National Transport Commissioners Forum for providing this platform for this discourse in the last couple of weeks. I thank all the speakers that have been part of these conversations that we have had. And I also want to say that as we plan and prepare for this conference, which is going to be holding in Lagos, it's important for other officers in the ministries and agencies, and also in the private sector, to continue to work towards capacity building meetings. Transportation is a dynamic industry, and there is need for us to come together from time to time to discuss about the technology and the knowledge advancement in the sector. And by this, we know we will all be enriched. I want to thank you so much for having this in the last couple of weeks. I look forward to seeing every one of you at the conference in Lagos. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, thank you. Chinwe will be saying that on behalf of her group, but as an insider, I knew so much. We have had a lot of support from the permanent secretary to make sure herself and other directors were to always play their role as requested by the executive secretary and the secretariat here in Abuja. Thank you very much, Ma. Executive Secretary Chinwe, please, can you, as we start wrapping up, can you also come back and give us the proper invitation to the next, the on-site program? Chinwe, please.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I am full of excitement that, as it says, whatever has a beginning has an end. We have come to the end of this series, to herald the conference for 2023. Like you have noted, I will not make this speech without specially thanking the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Madeleine Ajani, for her overwhelming support. I must say it, like you have pointed, that the support has been very, very encouraging, very supportive, not just from herself and her office, but the support from the other directors. And this is because they had seen her interest, her passion to ensure that the vision of this forum is upheld. But we are most grateful. We cannot thank you enough. You have shown leadership. You have shown the attributes of a mother. You have also shown great support that can never be denied. We want to thank you so much, and we do not take this for granted. On behalf of myself, the Secretariat, and the 36 ministries of transport in Nigeria and FCT, we want to say thank you so very much. And most importantly, that once again, we have been reassured that the new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy that has been carved out of the Ministry of Transportation is nothing to worry about. We are comforted by that, and that we will all gather together as a family in the forthcoming NCT to look at our industry once again and see how together we can move this industry forward. We want to say once again, thank you so very much, ma'am. To this end, I want to specially thank all our resource persons for today's discussion. Especially, I want to thank our guest speaker who we're meeting for the first time, and your commitment, the acceptance to be part of this discussion today, all the discussants, shows a great deal that we did have passionate Nigerians, patriotic Nigerians who are more interested in the growth and development of our country. We want to thank you so much for making out time to be with us. And many thanks to all our participants. Thank you so much for making time to be part of this discussion this evening. I will not also end this section, this speech, without saying a very big thank you to my own friend and brother, Mazi Philip Okoronkwo, for always standing up for this forum and this task. This shows how passionate we all are in this industry, and we believe that together we will see the desired growth that we have all yearned for. Yes, like has been said, that this series is just to whet our appetite, to what the conference will look like. The conference is National Transport Technology Conference and Exhibition, coming up on the 31st of October to 1st of November 2023 in Lagos State Eco Hotels, is the second edition of it. And our theme for this year is accelerating the deployment of technology for a smarter, safer, and sustainable transport system in Nigeria. We want to welcome all of you in advance, and we want to hope that the 2 days conference will herald this sector into another level of development. I want to thank you once again for making out time to be with us. We will continue to reach out to every one of us, and as directed, requested by the Permanent Secretary, we have put together the outcome of the 4th and the 5th webinars, and this will be submitted to the NCT as a memorandum, and we'll also make a presentation of it in the conference. We want to thank you so much for all of your support. We wouldn't have achieved this without persons like all of us here this evening. Once again, it is my pleasure to say thank you for this time, and we hope to see every one of us come 31st October in Lagos State. Thank you very much. Moderator, please.
Yeah, thank you, Executive Secretary of the Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see whether Mr. Abubakar Umar is here. Permanent Secretary, Bauchi State Ministry of Works and Transport. He was supposed to give us a final appreciation from the forum.
We should take it on our behalf, please.
Who should? Okay.
You should.
All right. Okay, Mr. Umar is not here. So, ladies and gentlemen, professionals in the transportation sector, like Chinwe have said, the guest speaker, you know, I was, when I saw the names, I said, where does Chinwe go to harvest all these persons? It's interesting to know that all of us, we are ready to see the best of things happen, to see best practices happen. I was happy when I heard that the issue of using pipeline is not whether we want, it's a matter of civilization. And Nigeria cannot come and take last that we want to be using road, carrying products and all of that, you know. So is a campaign that we all need to take seriously. And Chinwe has promised us of the memo that will come to the council so that the Dangote refineries of today, the deep sea ports of tomorrow, it should be made to, we should see a policy, an initiative or intervention so that we don't have these tank farms being located inside the port community. And before we know, people cannot pass easily. So again, I'm really excited to have seen this array of professionals interested in pipeline transportation still available in Nigeria. I just thought everybody has jackpot, as it were, but we are here and are ready to do the right thing so that movement in Nigeria, transportation can also be done like where people, human beings are, you know. So thank you, everyone, guest speaker. Thank you, Madam Permanent Secretary. Thank you, the commissioners who are on this call. Thank you, the permanent secretaries in our states who are on this call. Those in the private sector. Thank you so much for that handshake that we are having together. And that is how it should be, for us to have an intermodal and integrated transport that is serving citizens and adding to the GDP of the nation. Again, like Chinwe have said, we'll all see in Lagos, God willing, by next month end. God bless you all for attending. See you next time we meet. Bye, bye. Engineer Zaka, thank you, sir. My big friend.